And the good part is that the positive momentum was maintained on an expiry day. Usually there are fears that what if at the end of the expiry or closer to there will be a problem, but there wasn't. And there was some significant FII buying.
That number, I think, is important because you've had, I think, 3 market days when you've had 3
in
or
2025.
4 in 2025, and they've all been piddly figures.
Yes.
I mean, at its heydays, even 3,000 crores would have been, not a big deal. But right now, in relative terms, it's looking quite robust.
Yeah, and 2 days on a, I think this is the first 2 day on a trot FI buying thing in 2025.
No, it was day before yesterday.
Day before
so
yesterday.
you had a gap of
Excuse
a
me.
day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for correcting
But
me.
there was a very large, so it was a very large number this time. Yes.
Yeah. Which I think that's why, because probably the largest in 2025. So which is great. And a good part is it happened on the expiry day. Most people are now lending immediate support at 23,000, which is the 50 DMA. So therefore, keep an eye out for that. And I wonder if now the slow movers start gaining momentum, because we've had a period wherein the stocks which are usually high beta bounce back very strongly. Now, does the market get the confidence that even the low beta stocks should start moving? And so that will be interesting. Just one small piece of data that I had on the cables and wire stocks, right? Because that is one of the most active pockets yesterday. Yes. And maybe the large correction in cables and wires could be getting to a close, but strong upsides could be capped. And the reason I say this is, one is, of course, the sentiment that there are 2 large players. And I know there are a lot of notes which have come out overnight saying that, the Adani Group is also thinking of doing this much later, etc., so on and so forth. Backward integration, and therefore immediate earnings will not get hit. But the problem, to my mind, is the valuations. And here's the data on valuations for those stocks, right? I'm taking Polycab, KEI, and Havells. FY26 P, not even FY26, 1 year forward, or maybe let's say current year, because FY26 is almost there. Polycab trades at 35 times, KEI 31 times, Havells 53 times. Now compare that to the 10-year averages. Polycab 10-year average is 30, KEI is 22, Havells is 46. And even if you want to bring it down to FY27, let's say, because you want to give that benefit of doubt, 29 times for this one, 25 and 42 times. So the stocks are not exactly cheap, and therefore you might just want to think of upsides being capped here.
Okay, so valuations there, and I think the point about cables and wires is important, because maybe people jumped the gun. There is no clear intent which is known there, and that part of the story is yet to be unfolded.
But maybe upsides capped.
Maybe upsides capped, definitely.
So that's the word. And then maybe let's go to Puneet now to try and understand what to do, what the derivative picture was showing as well with regards to the trade setup, isn't it? So Puneet, break down the FNOQs for us.
Well, thanks for that. So definitely a very big move that we've seen in Nifty, 650 points over the last 5 days specifically. And we've seen that the bulls have continued to dominate for the 4th consecutive session. Now, this is, of course, the longest winning streak over the last 2 months, specifically on the Nifty. And now the resistance level is at roughly about 23,200. So it'll be important to see if we can maintain this level going into next week as well. Something that a lot of traders had anticipated a move, but this is a very decisive move over the last 5 days. Specifically, the next levels would be 23,800, which is some time away now. But it's going to be a positive bullish momentum. That's what most brokerages are anticipating. While the support levels have also moved now to 23,070. The first time it has moved about 23,000 over the last couple of months. When you look at some of the stocks as well, and the open interest was lower because of the expiry yesterday. But when you look at some of the open interest distribution, when you look at the call option data, the maximum was seen at 24,000. And it's moved up from 23,500 yesterday. While on the put option side, we've seen the maximum interest at roughly around the 22,000 level, essentially meaning an out of money contract. Now, just in terms of open interest gainers as well as losers, we saw roughly about, some stocks seeing short build up like Titagarh Railway as well as KEI because of the cables and wire segment. And we've seen that huge change of over 100% in open interest. While, the other ones such as Polycab and Oracle, Polycab specifically is also on the similar news. But on the open interest loser side, we have seen a short covering across stocks yesterday as well. BSE is one of the key ones. It's been in a similar trend of short covering over the last, so whatever bearish sentiment was there has been wiped out. But overall, it'll be interesting to see how do we start specifically and how do we end the session, because yesterday it was a very positive bullish momentum that we've seen across the index.